Well. You came back. It's like, nah, this probably y'all first time seeing me. Anywho, it's J Marie, created behind J Marie Digital. I'll see the title of this video. You're losing your friends and you don't know what to do. Ooh, do I got some heat to unpack for y'all. First off, let me start by saying I have had a lot of friends in my timeline. I am 22 years old. I have lost a lot of friends. A lot of friends. But I've gained so much knowledge from it. And so let me just start off with a little background. So I grew up as an only child. Yes, I still have siblings, but they live on the whole other side of the country. And on top of that, when I would see them, it was always back and forth, flying back and forth. There was no me just growing up under the house with them. So, I mean, growing in the house with them underneath the same roof, basically. And so because of that, I had to substitute it as only child, which was friends. I always had girlfriends, like probably since about second grade. So around 7 years old, that's when I really started to form a group of friends. And so as like just years go on and me being used to that, I've always cherished friendships. But when you get into this like adulthood and you're trying to find people to hang out with and be cool, it's not the same as when you're a kid. You know, when you're a kid, you can point out almost anyone and be like, hey, be my friend, do a cartwheel, and y'all are hanging out the next day. Like, simple. And honestly, it's really not that hard to make adult friends either, but it's hard to keep them because of your tolerance level. See, when you were a kid, you know, you pretty much just took what you got, you know what I mean? Because it didn't really matter. You know, you're in your own world, you're living your own life. And friends are friends. Like, as long as I know you, you know, you show up at my birthday party, bring a present, we cool. Simple. See, but when you're an adult, your friendships become more like a relationship. Like, you know, you want to make sure you're picking the right person. You want to make sure that there's no fakeness, enviousness, no, you know, double life type of thing with them. You want to make sure that there's longevity. You want to make sure that there's consistency. You know, you're not going to see me one day and be all happy and then the next day you act like you can't speak. We don't want that. We want real friends. Almost like a relationship. And also because of that, you're not just going to pick anyone. You're not just going to pick anyone to marry. You're not going to just pick anyone to spend the rest of your life with them. So that's how you kind of look at your friends when you're an adult. Like, you want someone who you can trust, who is going to have some sort of loyalty to you. And so with my experience, I started losing friends really, I want to say either late middle school. Yeah, late middle school is when I started to lose friends. Like, and I'm gonna be real, y'all. I lost a lot of friends because of me. I am so quick to cut off people. Like, it's one of those things where my tolerance at one point got really, really bad. Like, it was just like, as soon as you did something, or not, it wasn't even really that. I think that's more so me now. As soon as you do something now, I'm quick to cut off. But like before then, it was like I would be your friend, but once I really got fed up with you, and then as soon as you did something, OVA. Because no, I'm not about to play with you. We're not, no. No. But yeah, so one friend, I lost a childhood friend because I just always felt like she liked my best friend more than me, which she did. It was favoritism. My best friend was essentially the pyramid, like the pyramid tip. It was us three, and it was just like, it just felt like my best friend was the middleman. And who needs a friendship where the third person feels like the third wheel in a friendship? That doesn't work. That's weird. Why are you, you know, you just might as well have your own separate relationship with who's keeping it together, you know? So that was one that was lost. Then in high school, I lost a friend because she couldn't handle me telling her about herself for her own good. type of thing. It was just advice. And I don't know if it was my delivery or whatever the case may be, but she didn't like it. We got into it real bad, and I left her alone. And then the next one, she was in the same friend group. Lost her only just off the whim of association. She got into it with one person in the friend group, then the other person in the friend group. And even though I was neutral, she just fell off because I don't know, I guess she just felt like it wasn't going to work. So, yeah. Then college hits. I try to be friends with a group of girls. One of them got mad about a boy. I didn't even want the dude. And yet, we still fell off. But that friendship I didn't really care about because it wasn't really a friendship. We were like 2 weeks into school, so, you know. And then I finally came across my college friends. And they did good for a long while until a couple people fell off. And it's just, everything has taught me, like, all these girls who I've spoken to, been cool with, regardless of how we fell off, like, it was just meant to happen. And I feel like a lot of us wouldn't be so butthurt about losing friends if we looked at it from a perspective of our own. We're all growing. We are all developing. We are all changing. We are all our own people who have aspirations, goals, and just different thrives in life. You know, like we're learning and we're young, you know. And sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, there was a lot of friendships too that I held on to just because I was like, oh well, we're already friends, so I'm just kind of taking what you're coming with, not realizing I'm accepting like I'm accepting bad behavior, like, or I'm accepting like bare minimum type of stuff, like, and it's just like, you wouldn't do that. Like, you shouldn't do that in a relationship. Why would you do that in a friendship? It's the same thing. If you wouldn't tolerate your man or your woman talking to people who don't like you, or not talking to you oftenly, consistently, not wanting to hang out, why would you do that with a friend? Because your friend really, like, more so outside of the little extra smooching and loving on you can do with your significant other, your friend is going to be there for you the most. Your friend is going to be there when you go through heartbreak. Your friend is going to be there when you want to hang out, have a good time. Your friend is going to be there when you need to vent. Your friend is going to be there to, you know, comfort you. So that takes a lot of, that just takes a lot to develop with a person. So to just kind of tolerate anyone's bullcrap and it doesn't even align with you, you won't even realize that you're affecting yourself in that way. There's some people in this world who have barely lost friends, and you might look at them like, wow, they must be really likable. Or you might start questioning your own self, like, why can't I keep friends? But sometimes it's not really you. Sometimes it's both of y'all. Like, y'all just not meant to be. Sometimes, like, the breakup is what y'all needed because you weren't gonna do it and they weren't gonna do it. So, wow, it might have been their fault that y'all aren't cool, or it might have been your fault that y'all aren't cool. It's not really the situation that broke y'all up. It's the buildup of what was already falling apart finally coming to fruition. And I don't think a lot of people like look at it like that. They're like, oh well, me and her got into it and I was fed up. But more than likely, if this happened earlier in y'all friendship, y'all could have probably came back from it. But because y'all been overlooking each other's flaws that don't align with each other, you held on it way too long. Honestly, a lot of y'all are more toxic with friendships than relationships. Y'all, there's so many people out here with bad friends. Like, so many people. And y'all want to hold on to it because it's what you know, because it's history. But that's not good. If your friend has been doing you trifling for the longest and you always find yourself having to forgive them, there's a problem with that. There's a big problem with that. Like, you can't always feel like you're the one giving and giving and giving, and yet your friend is giving up nothing. That's not a friend. like, I don't know. I look at that as equivalent to giving out to the homeless. Because what can the homeless do for you? You can give to the homeless, but the homeless can't really give back to you but a thank you. You're donating. Like, how does that work? But yeah, y'all. Oh, and also, I would also say, like, the best thing to do after losing a friend too is just understanding that everything will be all right. You're still gonna live. The world doesn't stop just because y'all aren't cool no more. And again, you're gonna get over it. It might seem like you're not, but you really are. Especially if you're the type of person that never just like idolized the friendship, you might love it, you might enjoy it, but you never just was like, oh, this is the coolest person to be around. Like, I don't know what I would do without them. Like, if you're not like that, you're gonna be okay. The sun still rises, the moon still glows, the water still flows. You know, you're gonna wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, like nothing changes. The birds still chirp. Nothing changes. Nothing changes aside from the fact that they're not talking to you. Y'all don't speak no more. That's the only thing. Oh, and don't let it be y'all not even in each other's circumference to where you can't even see them alive or see them often. You're really gonna forget them. It's okay. It is okay. Now, if this is something where you see them at school and it's a little awkward, hey, it's awkward. Whatever. And no one likes to feel awkward. It's weird. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. But again, you just have to understand that the same way you're on your life path and figuring out what you need to do is the same way that they are. So if however party felt, however you felt or how they felt, if y'all felt like that's what needed to be done, let it be. Because you felt like that for a reason. Stop fighting the feeling. If you felt like you need to just ghost to someone, not have a conversation, do that. If you felt like you need to go off on someone and y'all got into this big quarrel and now y'all not talking because it got heated, leave it alone. Because for whatever reason, that needed to happen. And sometimes you lose friends to even test it. If y'all can get into it about something so big, but yet keep it respectful, that's a positive outlook. That's a positive look on your relationship. Because now I know regardless of whatever struggles or trials we go through, you're not going to find a way to disrespect me. So some of your friends might come back and some of them were meant to be gone for good and they were just meant for that season. But never let that define you, detour you, sadden you to the point where you think you're never going to meet people. You're going to always meet people. It's not going to be easy finding, those ones who, you could tell your secrets to and all that. But honestly, y'all, the world still spins. And you still have you. Gain a relationship with God. Understand the fruits of the Spirit. Understand the gifts of the Spirit. And just try to not only look at it from your own perspective, Don't be so one-sided with this, Whatever happened was meant to happen. Whether it was a big fallout, a small one, it was meant to be. Even look at your life. If you know that, let's say you get into it with the friend that parties the most. If you know you've been procrastinating because you've been too busy hanging out with them, like, little stuff like that goes to show. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be their friend anymore. Y'all might be into it right now, but they might come back around again once you get your stuff together. And not just them because they're like, oh, you got your stuff together. Because God is like, okay, now you can get this friend back because you're doing what you need to do. You're too busy being distracted. You're not even doing what you said you were going to do. It's so many scenarios to it. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm probably only covering not even a percentage, like probably a fraction of it, But y'all, life literally goes on. Like, you will get over it. Just be better off of it too. That's another thing. Just become better from it. While stuff keep cutting off, but just be better from it. When you see that person that you're not talking to anymore, still say hi or smile, or just don't even, if you choose not to say anything at all, don't even look like you feel some type of way. Do yourself a favor and don't feel any type of way. Heal yourself. Forgive. Make yourself forgive. Understand their perspective, even if you can't even think what their perspective might be. They might have just ghosted you just because. They might have just stopped talking to you just because. They might have stopped being your friend just because. They might have did you trifling just because. Regardless of what it was, you don't even have to make an excuse. It's really not your concern what they have going on. It's not your position to figure it out. You're only gonna stress yourself out trying to do that. Do yourself a favor and focus on you. Figure out what your flaws might have been, what if you're the person that caused the friendship to end, use that as a time to self-reflect on what you need to do better as an individual. Think about their complaints with you if you have a vocal friend. If they did something, now take note of what you don't want in your next friendship. But never stress it. Don't do too much. Focus on what you need to focus on. Focus on you. Because you're only going to attract better when you become better. So, yeah. You want to know what to do after you lost your friends? Get yourself together. That's the best medicine. Like, what? Upgrade yourself and maybe you'll upgrade some friends. That's all I can think about. And use your discernment. Half of y'all be knowing you got some weak friends and still be keeping them in your circle. No, we only do quality over here. Let that be known. Act like you know who you are. All right, I'm done right now. Talk to y'all later. See ya.